Hello, healers and health seekers. It's me, Ichoda, healing with medical medium information for 32 months now. If you want to know what I'm healing from, what my diagnoses are, and my story, the links are in the description box for you to go far down a rabbit hole of many videos. I know I have over 135 videos. I don't know what the number is now, but there's a lot of information. You don't have to watch all of those to get the full story, of course. You can just watch the one with my story. Anyway, it's time for What's Up Wednesday. Wednesday, the day that I come and make a video telling you about my healing journey and what's up with me and what's been going on. Here's an interesting little side note, because you won't know this, because I won't post it. I actually shot this video yesterday on Tuesday, like I usually do, but when I came into this bedroom to shoot the video, the space heater was on, and the space heater made the room so toasty warm that I could not keep my thoughts straight, and I just got all sleepy and snuggly and wanted to take a nap. As a result, the video, like, I edited it later and I was like, oh, this is just a hot mess, because I was just so tired. So I'm reshooting the video today with a little bit less warm and toasty room so that I can keep my thoughts straight and remember the things that I want to say and not just go into the sleepy nap time dream state. Okay, so I think the biggest thing that happened this past week, remember, I'm eating all raw, which has kept my energy levels up, which is fantastic because I am getting more stuff done. I actually have a lineup of videos that I made that are scheduled to be posted, which is amazing for me because it's something that I always a little bit struggle with, especially in winter, is kind of getting videos made, and I'm really excited about that. And I've been on top of getting things packed for our move and just daily tasks, showering and rebounding and just the normal tasks. What do we do during the day? Making food and keeping the dishes washed and doing laundry and cleaning and things like that. That's been pretty fantastic. So kind of the highlight was Friday. I shouldn't say the highlight, but sort of the big event this week was on Friday, because it wasn't a highlight, it was actually horrible. My son got really sick and he was up all night Friday night vomiting, and of course, as his mama, I was up all night with him while he vomited and just petting his head and trying to comfort him and helping him get through it and trying to keep him hydrated while he was vomiting. That was hard. That was the hardest part, actually, because he was afraid to drink anything because it would make his tummy feel worse and then he would want to vomit again, and it just was kind of a disaster. But I got him to just take little tiny sips throughout the process, which I remembered from when I had food poisoning. You just take little tiny sips every few minutes as you can, maybe every 15 minutes even, and see if you keep the little tiny sips down rather than trying to guzzle. You don't want to ever, when you're throwing up, you don't want to try to guzzle water, because that'll for sure trigger that vomiting reflex and off you'll go again. So Friday night, we were up most of the night. We got very little sleep and still somehow woke up super early Saturday morning. It's the one day I wouldn't have wanted to wake up early. I was really hoping that we would sleep in, but his nausea was just it would wake him up. And so then Saturday, we kind of got him back to feeling kind of okay by having him drink a little bit of pear juice. And then when he was able to keep that down, he was willing to try a little bowl of frozen wild blueberries, a really little bowl, maybe a quarter cup. And he tried those and he kept those down. And then he had more frozen wild blueberries. I gotta say this for my son. He has a really good sense of himself and what he can handle and can't handle, and I trust him when he listens to that, because of course I want to honor that and I want to encourage him to listen to his body and what his body's saying. So everything that I offered him, I gave him my reasons for offering them, and then I said, do you think you could try this? Do you think you would keep it down? Because my gut would say, I think this will actually work. And at first I was going to just try getting pear juice into him, but he only could really handle a little bit of that, and then he was ready for the wild blueberries. And it really, a part of it was about keeping him hydrated. If he's eating fruit, he's keeping hydrated, even if he's not drinking. Because if he drank too much, his stomach would feel weird again. But it just felt like the wild blueberries would help, and oh my gosh, they did. Basically, that's all he ate all day. So his whole mouth was blue all day long. But he kept it down, and so each day he's been eating a little bit more, but he even kept himself to like mono meals. So he'd have a meal of only mandarins or only wild blueberries, or actually that's kind of all he ate for the first couple of days. And then he would have like a juice, but it would just be one fruit, like orange juice or pear juice, or well, that's it, just orange juice or pear juice. And so he's been getting his strength back up and being able to eat more foods. And today I think he's actually fully back, because he was willing to, again, have his heavy metal detox smoothie and take his tinctures. And to me that says my stomach's fine, I'm doing okay, because he wouldn't do either of those things and was having very simple smoothies when he would have a smoothie. But since then he's gotten better and he's just eating his normal stuff now. Like last night, he and his dad like to have burgers every couple of weeks. Like they'll get some grass-fed meat and have a burger. So last night he had a burger, and I was like, oh, he's fine now. If he can eat a burger, that's a lot to digest because of the fat and everything. I was like, he's cool. He's good, which is great because it means he's feeling better. Okay, so the point of really talking about that is that Friday night kind of impacted me. First of all, the amazing thing is even after very, very little sleep on that Friday night, like very little sleep, we still got up so early. I thought for sure Saturday, I was like, well, there's my plans toasted. That's not gonna happen now. And my plans, of course, were to pack, because each weekend we do a little more packing to get ready to move. And so I thought, well, that's it. I'm going to be useless. I'm not going to be any good to anybody. I'm not going to be able to do any of this stuff. But much to my surprise, even on very little sleep, I still had the energy and motivation to get up and pack. And I got, for how tired I was, I got a fair amount of packing done. I pack at a sort of healing from illness pace, very much respecting my body's needs and my need to take frequent breaks for sustenance and to keep glucose and mineral salts going. And I always have liquid next to me and stuff like that. And I was amazed to discover that, hey, I was able to do all of that and keep myself going and get a good amount done on Saturday. And I think I even did a little bit on Sunday, but by Sunday, because I was amazed on Saturday. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm shooting little clips for the video I'm gonna do about moving while healing, tips for that, and I'm getting this packing done, and I'm feeling good and all this stuff. And I was like, this is amazing. This is what Raw does. I can't believe it. But I also, because I was kind of in the flow of doing that, a little bit I forgot to stop early enough and have my lunch. Because usually in the day, my flow goes, have my morning lemon water, morning celery juice, heavy metal detox smoothie, and almost pretty close to the heavy metal detox smoothie, I will have my lunch, which is spinach soup. And it was like 3 o'clock by the time I actually had my spinach soup. And so I did eat, but I noticed that I have my best energy if I eat a lot of the stuff earlier in the day. Like if I eat more frequently earlier in the day, that's really a lot better for my energy levels. And I kind of didn't do that. And while I felt okay on Saturday, on Sunday, I started to feel a little less energetic and a little sleepier, which when I'm sleepier, then I'm like less likely to keep my routine for when I need to eat and stuff like that. So it's kind of like this vicious cycle. And the vicious cycle looks like this. Poor sleep equals more fatigue equals poor food choices equals more fatigue equals poor food choices. It's like this spinning. I see it as this sort of spinning vortex of like tornado activity that just pulls you down, like spiraling downwards. But not so fast. Like it's you can pull out of it. It's not like a real tornado. It doesn't suck you in. It's like, oh, I see this pattern starting to happen. And Monday, usually Monday is sort of my weekend day of recovery because the routine is different on the weekend with my husband here and we're doing different things, and usually we have like more activity going and stuff like that on the weekends. Monday I usually sort of just take a beat, and I'm usually doing less. So most of what I'm doing will be like quieter sitting activities like editing videos or journaling or doing a motion code or stuff like that, just sort of gentler, energetically activities. Monday has always been for me, since being chronically ill, kind of a day of decompression. And then Tuesday I kind of get back into the swing of whatever I want to be doing. I make videos on Tuesdays for What's Up Wednesday, and I'll sometimes do other videos and just kind of do more task-oriented things and active things. And the rest of the week kind of whatever. But so that's how I'll kind of ease into my week. And so I did have kind of a day of rest and decompressing Monday, and then Tuesday I was just super fatigued, and I realized so it's like I've been eating. I know I was eating. It's just that I think I wasn't eating enough early enough in the day. So by the time it was evening, I kind of hadn't quite finished like all the things I was supposed to have during the day. Still, I have been writing my menu for the day every day. And when I was packing and stuff, I wasn't really looking at it as much. I mean, I was, because then I was like, oh, what am I supposed to have now? But then it got late and I missed a couple of things. And then kind of the same thing happened on Monday and Tuesday. And Tuesday, you guys, it was kind of like it all kind of was hitting me. The days of not having enough sleep or enough rest, plus not eating enough food, and then it was so cold in the house because it was so cold outside. It's 0 degrees outside. It's been really freezing, and it keeps snowing, and then the snow will melt slightly, but then it'll snow more. It just snowed more last night. It just keeps happening. More snow, more snow, more snow. And it was so cold, and I just felt like I could not get warm. And it was really getting to me, and it was making me more tired, in addition to sort of like the restless sleep and the fatigue from not having enough food and everything. I think if you've been watching my videos, you probably figured out by now that I'm very susceptible to fatigue. Like, fatigue is one of my biggest symptoms now that ever happens still, and so I have to be really, really diligent to manage my energy levels so that I can have consistent energy throughout the day. So when I kind of wasn't, it did catch up to me. So yeah, and Tuesday just was when everything caught up. So it was so cold in the house, and then when I came in here in this bedroom to make a video, and it was such a toasty warm room, it just made me instantly sleepy. I just wanted to take a nap, and my brain was kind of off, like, I'm not going to help you remember what you were going to talk about. And it was like, oh my gosh, it was just sort of the culmination of all the things that were getting to me, like, all in one, and I just didn't pan out well for trying to make a video. The other thing that I did, remember I said about making poor food choices, is, now it's funny what I now consider, after 32 months of healing, what I now consider a poor food choice. I'm trying to eat raw. I'm trying to eat as high raw as possible. I'm not going to call myself like only eating raw, because maybe once in a while I might have some steamed squash or potatoes or whatever. Well, yesterday was that once in a while. I had made some sweet potato noodles for my son, and his tummy was like, nah, not today. And there was just this warm half a bowl sweet potato noodles sitting there, and I was like, oh, it's so warm, and it was sitting next to me, and I was just kind of looking at it, and I ate it. I did. I was so cold, and I'll tell you what, it actually did warm me up. And I had done, don't get me wrong, I had done all my tricks to warm up. I had taken a warm shower. I was wearing, I was wearing a toque, a hat, a knitted cap, and my slippers, and I had on layers, and I was wrapped up in blankets, and I was doing all the things to keep myself warm and drinking chaga tea that was warm. I had done all of that. I had done all of my warm things and put on body butter after the shower to seal in the moisture and the warmth, and it just wasn't working yesterday. I just felt chilled to the bone inside, and I ate the noodles. I did. And then after the noodles, a little while later, I actually had some warm potatoes. Just plain. Nothing really on them. It did it for me. It really did actually help. I'm not going to be mad at myself that I did that. I'm just going to notice. I'm going to use it as an opportunity for self-compassion and saying, hey, you know, you're still doing your best. You're still a human. The foods that you would look at now as being cheat foods are still totally healing foods, and it's fine. Maybe not the sweet potato noodles, but the potatoes for sure. And it's also an opportunity for learning, because I can look and I can say, oh, see, there's that pattern emerging again that I have. That pattern that wants to be healed maybe. And it's showing itself to me and saying, here's that pattern where poor sleep equals lower energy, equals fatigue, equals poor food choices. That's a pattern for me. Now, granted, my definition of poor food choices has just altered drastically. And if I look back on where I've come from, how far I've come in these 32 months, I have done so many amazing things for myself. And each new level of healing and each new level of what I can do, what I'm capable of, what feels the best for my body, what feels the best for my health. Each level of that has just been amazing, and it just opens up whole new worlds. So I'm not going to be mad that I did a thing that wasn't the thing I really ultimately wanted to do, but kind of did. I don't know. But I'm just going to acknowledge myself and look at how far I've come and be so proud of what I'm doing now and how I'm feeling now and taking it to each new level. And I think, like I said, the cooked food and having that and seeing that pattern, it's just something that keeps coming up. It wants to be healed, it wants to be seen, it wants to be noticed. So I'm noticing it, I'm seeing it, and hopefully I'm healing it. I'm hopefully healing it in time or now, or I don't know. But it's part of my process, and I just want to honor that and not use it to self-flagellate, to beat myself up, you know? And I'll be honest, yesterday that was kind of not where I was at with it. Yesterday I was like, I did the thing I didn't want to do. I was a little bummed out. But today, it's okay, because what did you do? You're eating 99.99% raw, and like for one part of one meal you ate some cooked food? I think you're okay. And then today, just feeling like, oh, okay. My sleep's been a little bit, it's interesting. In ways, my sleep's been way better, and in ways it hasn't been as good, and I don't know how to explain that. But I think I'm sleeping more deeply and more consistently through the night. Like, I fell asleep last night and actually didn't wake up until I had to get up this morning and go to the bathroom. But I didn't wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, which is kind of amazing. Because usually I do. That's been happening a lot lately, so that's pretty amazing. Since going raw, my sleep has been more deep. I think my dreams have been more vivid, which makes my sleep a little more active, and that can be a little tricky because I don't always feel so rested when my dreams are active. I think that might be part of it. And it's funny because now I've been waking up early at like 5 every day, but my son has an internal alarm that makes him know when I'm awake. He always has had this since birth, and he will subsequently almost always wake up shortly after I do. And I will ask the angel of sleep almost every time. I'll be like, please let him sleep longer so that he can have like a full night's sleep. And there are times when he does actually sleep a significant chunk longer, and I get like this big parcel of time to myself in the morning. But lately, this past week, because he's been not feeling well, he's been going to bed a lot earlier as well. So once I'm up, he follows shortly after. I get maybe 10-15 minutes, and then he's waking up, and I'm okay. I'm not mad about that. I liked getting up early and having like a big like an hour all on my own would be really, like, that's a luxury. It's okay though. I'm happy that he's feeling better. So yeah, today I'm feeling a lot more energetic again and kind of back on track. Being able to see where I fell out of place a little bit allowed me to, so observing and today just saying, you know what, no, I'm gonna have what's on this. I'm gonna look at this menu and this is what I'm eating today. Because I vary from the menu a little bit sometimes. But usually it's more just like, instead of the salad for lunch, I'll have the spinach soup for lunch and the salad for dinner. Like I'll just flip those around or something, and sometimes the order that I eat things in just isn't quite the same as on the daily menu, and that's totally fine. That doesn't matter. It's more when I'm just eating stuff that's like, yeah, that's not what I said I was gonna have. Like the noodles and the potato. So I feel good about it. I just feel good about it because then today I'm like back in that space. And so other than that, this week, my mind has just been fully on packing and moving and getting ready because here we are. It is almost, the end of February is tomorrow. And that means we're into March, and we are moving at the end of March. So it's all about getting things packed, getting things organized, getting things ready to move. Yeah, so that's been my week, packing, moving, making the video about packing and moving, thinking about that, and taking care of my son when he was sick. Oh, and then the poor guy, so then he was feeling so stir crazy from having been sick all week, and then he wanted to go outside with his dad, even though he does not mind the cold. Even though it is freezing outside, he will bundle up in the snow boots and all the stuff, and he'll go out there. And so when my husband was taking Muffins out for a walk, my son went with them. And while he was outside, he slipped on the ice and fell on his butt and on his wrist. And he bruised his wrist. And so he's been like wearing an ace bandage around. So like he had a sore throat for like a week, and then he was nauseated for some days, and then now he's got this bandaged wrist. I just feel so bad for him. But you know what? His spirits are good. Honestly, given all of the things that have happened, and it's been a long winter and all this stuff, he has been keeping in pretty good spirits about it and has had pretty good perspective. And honestly, I would say that we have healing foods to thank for that, because this has not always been his natural disposition. And I'm sorry, that's the wrong. This has not always been his regular disposition. And I wouldn't call it his natural disposition, because it's like a cloud sort of preventing him from being who he really is. But that cloud is being lifted, and I can see that it's being lifted as he eats more healing foods for a longer period of time and lowers the fat in his diet and takes more supplements. And I'm really happy to see that, because it's really helping. And we switched up something too recently. I might have already talked about this, I don't remember, but he was drinking sort of a mix of celery apple juice in the morning, but he would never drink straight celery juice. He has, part of his things that have affected him is that he has sensory issues and issues with taste and texture. And so he couldn't get past the taste of the celery juice. And I was like, well, I know it's not the same and it's diluted and it's not going to give him the same effect, but it's something. And so I was mixing it with apple juice. But recently we switched it up and took out the celery apple juice. And I'm giving him like 2 ounces of celery juice in a shot glass, and he's able to drink that. So I'm like, yes. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm going to he tends to see the size of the container as the size of what he's drinking, even if like I could put like 2 ounces in the bottom of a big glass, but it would look like he was drinking the big glass to him, as opposed to if I give him 2 ounces in a shot glass, which fills the shot glass, but then he's like, oh, but it's small. And so I'm going to get a glass that's like maybe 4 ounces, so that I can fill that glass. And then I'm just going to keep getting glasses that are just a little bigger and graduate them up and give him full glasses until I get more. But that'll take time. Like all of this stuff takes like a bit of time to do, but I'm so excited that he's drinking straight celery juice. So now in the morning he has lemon water first, and then he'll have his little shot of celery juice, and then he'll have his heavy metal detox smoothie. Keeping him hydrated is a little bit difficult because he doesn't like to have to pee so many times throughout the day. Yet, medical medium says it's very important to be hydrated, and in Alive, I think he said that you know you're hydrated if you're peeing about once an hour. And my son is very resistant to the idea of peeing that much. So a lot of times he won't drink even if he's thirsty because he doesn't want to have to pee, which I'm like, kid, it doesn't work that way, and you need to stay hydrated. So I keep working on him and talking to him about that and how important it is. And especially when we move to Colorado, it's going to be literally twice as important because of the dry air. Like, he's going to have to drink. So we're working on hydration. It's a process. It's life with healing foods. It's just a process. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, my healers and health seekers. Thank you always for coming along on this journey with me, and I appreciate you. I love you. I want the best for you and your healing. I wish you many, many blessings on your continued healing journey. Stay curious, my healers and health seekers, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.